everybody, it's Rain, and in today's video I'm going to show you how we can take this 17.5 micron Merino Targhee cross, turn it into this gorgeous clean pile of wool, and then to this beautiful squishy, oh so soft comb top. I'm going to be using the extra fine combs from Valkyrie, although I recommend using the super fine combs. But hey, you use what you've got, and we'll see how it turns out. So I tried washing a small batch of this in my normal way with just the hottest tap water that I could use, and it was not enough because my middle pile right here, the one that looked like this, just a clean open top, it had lanolin left in it. And I don't know about you, but when I make comb top, I don't want any lanolin left because it could muck up our tools really bad. So here is our solution. We are going to boil some water, a big pot of boiling water, and we're going to add that to our normal hot tap water bath that we're going to scour our wool in. So I filled it up just enough to cover the tips of the wool, and here is my boiling water. I'm going to add that in. Be very careful if you do this. Hopefully you're not like me and had to take it up a flight of stairs, and you can just pour it into your water basin on the same floor. So I poured that in and I tried to mix it around. I'm going to add my power scour, mix it around, and we're going to add our wool. I recommend using a stick or something that will not melt when you push your wool down, because just using a plastic rubber glove, it got really hot. Or at least you can do is wear a cotton fire resistant glove underneath, or heat resistant glove I mean, so that your hand doesn't get too hot. But you use what you've got. Cap that as quickly as possible, and we're going to let it scour for 20 minutes, no longer. And this is after 20 minutes through the magic of editing. And here's what we have. Now I use a hydroponic plant growing basket from Lowe's, and it did not melt, so I can vouch on that it works great since it has holes on all 5 sides. So I just press on it to get most of the water out, because some of that water-filled lanolin could be trapped in there. And I always flip it over and give it just pick it apart just a tiny little bit. And if you do use this method, don't be like that lady that tried to fill up a kiddie pool in her basement and then lift it and dip it out. Use a bucket so you don't destroy your back or make a big mess. Comment below if you're in the fiber community and you've seen that video before. No offense to the lady that did it, I just remember that video and it stands out in my mind a lot. Now here is about the only extent of how I'm going to open it up a little bit more. And of course I would recommend using 2 hands, but I'm trying to show the camera, so I was using one hand to hold the bucket up to the camera. This didn't felt it at all. Like it's not even slightly felted. And this is 17.5 micron Merino Targhee, as I said before. Now for my second wash, you can use power scour. I've tried both and I don't find a difference in it. I do like to use power scour because it's a little bit stronger and it's made for wool in that first initial wash to get all that lanolin out. And then I always do a second wash with the hottest tap water I can get, and I'm using the ivory dish soap as I showed. Cap that and let it sit for another 20 minutes. And this just gets any remaining lanolin that could be stuck inside the fibers or anything like that. Here we are. Now that first batch, I had already washed it before. I was just scouring it with the boiling water to get the lanolin out. The second batch right here is the one that was still really dirty. And empty out your basin again. And we are going to rinse. Now I don't use the hottest water I can for this. I just use, I still use hot water, but it's not really scouring hot. You still want to use warm water. You definitely do not want to shock it with cold water because that will felt it, I promise. And then I'm just going to squeeze it to get the excess water out. Don't wring it or anything like that. Twist it. Giving it a little zhuzh, and I'm going to rinse it some more. And now we are going to use our salad spinner to spin out all that extra water. You do not have to do this step if you don't have a salad spinner. Just don't worry about it. Just go ahead and lay it out on a towel and let it dry like that. Or if you have one of those fancy drying racks, which I'm planning on getting very soon to show you. Otherwise, if you do have a salad spinner, go ahead and use it. It works great, and it really helps dry the wool a lot faster. And as you can see, this wool just pulls right apart. I like to pull it apart a little bit while it's still wet, and then throw it in the salad spinner, because we're going to have to break it all up eventually anyway. Here we go. I like to give it a little shake to get it back to the middle. Set it aside and dump your water. Look at all that. It gets quite a bit of excess water out, and this was already squeezed completely as hard as I could, so it works really well if you do invest in one. If you wash a lot of raw wool, or if you have to wash wool in general, if you're dyeing, it works great. This fiber is gorgeous. Alright, and then after we spin dry both baskets, I'm just going to throw it all into one basket, and we're going to take it and lay it out to dry. So here it is. Just dump it out. Look at how white and beautiful it turned out. Absolutely gorgeous. Make sure you spread it out as much as you can, especially if you're just laying it on a towel. And another way to speed up the drying process, I think this took about a full 2 days to dry, or at least a day and a half. You can put a fan on it, and that will help you dry it a little faster. Just look at that. I was very pleased with this wool. It does have some VM, but sometimes you just have to deal with some VM. And here it is, all nice and dry, nice and fluffy. It's very airy. It's like a cloud. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to line up the staple lengths so that we can lay it into our container wherever we're going to store it, and that way we can just grab a little handful to work with when we go to lay it on the combs. What I do is I take a staple length and I'll pull it and get it lined up. As you can see, I'm just pulling out staple lengths and kind of opening up the fibers a little bit so that it'll lash onto the combs really easily. Just get any little twists and tangles out, give it a little pull, and that staple length should slide right out and you can line it up. And if you look closely, usually you'll have a little bit of cotting or matting where the cut end is. See how it's kind of a little stuck together where it was on the sheep? That's how you can tell the tips from the cut ends. And usually the tips have a little bit of curl to them, especially if it's a lamb fleece. And I just store it in a Ziploc bag, and since this fiber is short, I'm going to store it up and down, just like so. So it's going to be up and down in the bag. We'll just make room and just keep doing that until it's all put in the bag and ready to be combed. This is probably the most tedious process, but this is the way I like to do it now. Before, I was just having to mess around with the raw wool a lot and keep it all lined up. This is a lot faster. You do have to pick it apart, but at least you're picking it apart while it's clean. I found that I was able to keep a lot more wool that way and not have to throw as much away. I'm using my extra fine Valkyrie combs. It only has 2 rows. The super fines actually have 3 rows, and it is a lot better for like under 18 and under 19 micron fleeces. We are probably going to have a little bit more waste with these and a little bit more neps, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind pulling out a few neps as I spin, and it gets the job done, so that's what matters to me. So now that we have all of our locks lined up, nice and parallel to each other, all together, we can just grab a little handful right off the top of our bag, enough to work with, and they will all be nice and lined up and ready to lash onto our combs with very minimal effort. So as you can see, it just kind of falls apart, and you can see all your individual staple lengths ready to be lashed on. They're all lined up and down just like that, as you can see. So all you have to do is just kind of tease the ends a little bit. You can pull it and lay it on top of one another like I'm doing there if you need to. Just find you a nice end and start lashing on your combs. I am going to leave a link in the cards and in the description box of another video that is using this same technique. It shows a little bit more in depth about how I pick apart my fiber, my washed fiber. I believe I used alpaca in this video, but it's basically the same steps and everything that I said in this video. If you want to check that out, it'll be linked in the cards and the description. So we're just going to keep lashing it on, and now we have enough. Look at that big fluffy boof. I'll pull it up a little bit so it's off that bottom piece. I just feel like I have a little bit more room, and I don't nick my desk as much if I do that. I'm just pulling out some little bits and pieces of VM. They got to come out some way or another. Keep your combs capped before you use them if you can. I definitely recommend it. These things will hurt you like nobody's business. So be very careful if you do use them. Take it nice and slow till you get the motions down, and then keep taking it nice and slow so you don't hurt yourself. I promise, they hurt. I also like to comb with the comb in my hand, turning it sideways and combing it onto the comb that is on the table too. I keep a spray bottle. This is just plain tap water, and that really cuts down on static. And if you really have a lot of static, especially with these fine fleeces, get you some of this Downy Wrinkle Releaser. It is a static reducer, and it really helps cut down on the static, and it smells amazing. It doesn't leave any residue on my wool. I don't like to use conditioner or oils or anything like that because it leaves that residue, which granted we will wash it after we're done spinning it and stuff, but I just don't like the feel of it. So keep the static down as much as you can. It'll be a lot easier to comb that way. And once you start getting a little bit of VM on the top of that comb and some neps, see, we got some neps, and see the comb top that we have there has neps in it, and there's some VM that's left. So that is our waste for this first initial pass. So I like to pull it up just a little bit off the bottom, pick out any little stragglers that didn't get combed right the first go around, and lay it back on there and go for pass number 2. You can do as many passes as you would like, but I usually only go for around 2 or 3 at the most, but that's just me. Oh, look at that gorgeousness. So fluffy and boofy. Love it. So I'm pulling it up just a hair off of that bottom piece, and I am spreading the fibers out. This is pretty important. You don't want to spread it out too much. A lot of people will tell you to spread it out as far as you can Just gently spread it apart. You want to make sure all your fibers are still relatively touching and close together. This way your comb top will hold together a lot better. You pretty much want them to hold together so you'll have a nice solid top, but you also don't want them to be too close together and smushed, because then it'll be too hard to diz off. I have my chair down here to catch the fiber. You can put a basket or something under there. I just put my chair and stand up. Alright, so you just want to fluff it out and find an end. I like to start in the corner. Some people start in the middle. I just go for the corner. I find it a little easier. I twist it a little bit like you're getting ready to spin it and pull it through. That way you don't need to use a thread or anything. And just start dizzing it off. Remember your staple length. And don't let the fiber get too thin. As you can see, we stop right before it starts to thin out. That keeps your top nice and together and relatively all the same size. There's a few neps in there, as you can see. I don't mind that at all. There's probably only 3 or 4 neps in this entire piece of comb top. There might be a little more at the end, but I'm fine with that while I'm spinning. I can pick those out really, really easily. And I just go across, and you kind of have to just jump right in when you're dizzing, and you'll eventually get the feel of it. But it just kind of comes off on its own, and you can just work your diz across in the way that you need to. If your fiber starts to fall apart, you can give it a little twist, and that'll help it stay together. As you can see, I'm fluffing that fiber out. You just want to get those tips near the hole of your diz. That way it'll catch some of those tips and it'll start pulling it off on your diz. That's the best way I can explain it. Check my TikTok. I have a more up-close video of dizzing. When we get to the end, we just want to kind of pull as much off right there at the end as we can. And there we go. Here's our waist, and I don't throw this away. I will pull it apart and card it and use it as a woolen spun. So now let's roll that up into a nice little nest, and you can look at the beautifulness of this combed top. I absolutely love combed top, if you cannot tell already. It's my favorite. Look at that. So squishy. So there it is, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you've learned a little something. You pretty much just need to increase the temperature on these finer wools and just take it a little bit more cautiously so you don't felt it. And that's really all there is to it, to get rid of that really stubborn lanolin that can be found in fine fleeces like Merino and Targhee and all those fine fleeces that you can find. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more, and give this video a like. It really helps me out. Remember to comment if you've seen that video or not. And I really hope you like this video. I also have a Facebook and an Instagram. You can check me out on there. And go to rainfiberarts.com to check out my Etsy store. I'm going to be listing a lot more on there in the future. And I post on here every week, usually every Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.